So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin our welcoming ceremony. So, please enjoy your seat and make yourself comfortable. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To the Honorable Professor Dr. Ratno Saraswati SHM Hum, the Dean of Faculty of Law Universitas Diponegoro, to the Honorable Dr. Trilaksmi Indreswari SHMH, the Vice Dean of Law Faculty Universitas Diponegoro, to the Honorable Mr. Solehan SHMH as the Second Vice Dean of Law Faculty Universitas Diponegoro, to the Honorable Mr. Kartika Widya Utama SHMH as the Director of International Office Universitas Diponegoro, to the Honorable Professor Dr. Denny Nugroho Sugianto STM SI as the Director of World Class University Task Force Universitas Diponegoro, to the Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Salawati Mat Basir LBLB LLM, the Lecturer of Faculty of Law National University of Malaysia as the speaker for our today's session, and to the Honorable Professor Dr. Edi Pratomo, SHMA, the Lecturer of Faculty of Law, Universitas Diponegoro, as the speaker for today's session as well. Very welcome. We bid our honored guests. I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude for your presence at this very memorable occasion. It is indeed a pleasure to have you all today. Now, before we begin this ceremony, please allow me to read the rundown for the ceremony today. Firstly, we will be singing National Anthem Indonesia Raya. We will be singing symbolically, so we would like to encourage the audience to listen with it respectfully. And then we move on to the prayer session. And then there will be a welcoming speech from the Dean of Faculty of Law, Universitas Diponegoro. And then the And then it will be deliver a speech again from the director of the World Class University Task Force Universitas Diponegoro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are now going to listen to the national anthem, Indonesia. Before we continue any further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Danis Naila Sakinah, and you can call me Danis, and I will be acting as the master of ceremony for today's event. Now, let's thank God for the abundance of His blessing and His grace that He has given to us. So this morning we could be here attending this very lovely ceremony in today's. Now, let's not forget also to start this agenda with pray so that our day will run well, smoothly, without any obstacle. So let the pray begin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the speech that will be delivered by our Dean of Faculty of Law, Universitas Diponegoro, Professor Dr. Retno Saraswati, SHM. The time is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, everybody. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to God Almighty on this blessing and mercy so that we can organize Lex Proficia summer course. I also want to welcome and congratulate all of the participants in this summer course program. Participants of this program will join a series of innovative and creative activities. This program also will give participants a great chance to get more knowledge about law and culture through interactive learning process, sharing discussion, and cultural exploration. It also can strengthen partnership among participants who come from a lot of countries. All of activities in the summer course program are designed to give a comprehensive, creative, and adaptive experience for all participants. Besides class session, this program also provides learning through experience which is unique and different from other culture and law exchange. Number of participants in this program increase every year. This year, there are about 40 foreign participants who join this program. They come from various Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Right, thank you so much, Professor Ratno. Now we are going to move on to another speech that will be delivered by the Chair of the World Class University Task Force, Universitas Diponegoro, Profesor Dr. Denny Nugroho, Sugianto STMSI. The time is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Dean Faculty of Law, Professor Dr. Retno Saraswati. Thank you, Prof. And I look in here, Associate Professor Dr. Salawati Matbasir from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Thank you. And all speakers. The Honorable Head of International Faculty, Pak Widya and Bu Anggun. thank you, and all professor and lecturer at Faculty of Law, and all of the participants in the Lex Proficia 2021 online summer course program, and to take theme the digitalization of law in Indonesia. I am Denny Nugro Subianto, Head of Reputation Office and Task Force World Class University, Universitas Diponegoro. First of all, I would like to thank the Dean Faculty of Law, Prof. Retno, and teams, along with all the resources in the faculty that organize this summer course international program. On behalf of Universitas Diponegoro, I would like to welcome all the participants in the Lex Proficia 2021 online summer course program. In this globalization era where distance is no longer matters, diverse learning can be conducted through many programs in anywhere in order to shaping a better perspective of us looking at the world in global. Universitas Diponegoro is committed to taking part as educational providers in this internationalization process in order to equalize higher education institution with other institutions nationally and globally in terms of the quality of education and graduate in the global outlook. Through this program, the participant also can learn in Indonesia law and culture towards law student abroad in order to be able to understand and get to know more closely in Indonesian legal system and norms. In the form of learning in class, virtual tours, discussion and culture exchange, and about digitalization of law in Indonesia. International legal practitioners and scholars who are professionals who have superior expertise in their fields will also be part of this event. I hope that this summer course will be beneficial for all of the participants, and even it is online, I hope everyone can enjoy the event to the fullest. Hopefully next year or next time the pandemic will be resolved so we can meet physically and enjoy this real summer course in Universitas Diponegoro. Without further ado, I officially opening the online summer course program in the Lex Proficia 2021, hosted by Faculty of Law, Universitas Diponegoro. Please enjoy the event and thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Denny, for this speech. Now, before we move on to the most awaited session in today's agenda, I would like to remind all the participants to please turn on your camera as well as renaming your Zoom ID in the format as follow: participant / your name / university affiliation. And also don't forget to use the background, the virtual background that has been and not forget to use the virtual background that has been sent in the chat box. Thank you, everyone. All right, now we are going to the most awaited session, as I said before, which is a class session with our special guest, the one and only Associate Professor Miss Dr. Salawati Basir, LLB, LLM. And today we will be having an interesting topic to talk about, which is ASEAN Law, that will be guided by our moderator, Mr. Dias Tama Anggita Ramadan, SHLLM. But before that, I would like to introduce and read the CV of Mr. Dias Tama Anggita Ramadan. Okay, Mr. Dias Anggita Ramadan graduated from Universitas 11 Maret for his bachelor's degree, and then he also took his master's in Cardiff University, majoring in human rights law. He's currently a lecturer at Universitas Diponegoro, Faculty of Law. And without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Dias Tama Anggita Ramadan. The screen is yours.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice? Good morning, Professor Salawati. Professor, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello, Professor Salawati.
Yes, good morning to you.
Okay, good. I can hear you now. Okay, how are you, Professor Salawati? How's the current situation in Malaysia today?
I'm still okay, still safe, but the case of COVID-19 in Malaysia is skyrocketing. We are really having a difficult time at this time with the numbers of cases. But still, we as Malaysian take care of ourselves, try our best to protect our family and our people around us.
Yeah, we also hope that this situation is finished as soon as possible. Okay, so today Professor Salawati will deliver her speech regarding the Asian law and its development. And Professor Salawati is a professor from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and her expertise is Asian law. And so without any further ado, Professor Salawati, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I will share my screen. Okay, I hope everyone can see this. Mr. Dias Tama, you saw this?
Yes, very clear, Professor.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I have about 1 hour, isn't it, for this presentation?
Yes, you have maybe 45 minutes for the speech, and then we've had 15 minutes to the question and answer session.
All right, very good. I'll try to manage my time in that particular 1 hour. Okay, first of all, I would like to say good morning, salam sejahtera to all of my beloved friends in University of Diponegoro, especially to Prof. Dr. Retno, all those people that I met during my visit in 2019, and again a visit online on 2020, 2021. I think me and University of Diponegoro is already have a very close relationship since 2019. And also, last but not least, to all the participants. First of all, I'm honored to be the first speaker to share my humble knowledge regarding what happens around ASEAN at this moment. I think I want to talk about the topic of COVID-19's recovery momentum, accelerating the ASEAN Community 2025 blueprint for greater regional integration. I do believe that many of us not realize about this recovery momentum. Many of us are very busy because COVID-19 is not just health emergency for me and for all of us in Southeast Asia, but it's really give a very difficult and disrupted economic activities and upended life. tapering growth prospect in Southeast Asia and around the world. I'm talking about perspective of ASEAN during this COVID. It's really hindered more development activities because we have to see that how we can recover from this pandemic and now become endemic. Yeah, and it's look at my country, the numbers of cases is so high day by day, and people are asking the government, what are you doing? Yeah, and it's not only in Malaysia, in every part of ASEAN. But I'm not sure whether any of us or our government, because they themselves last December 2020, the ASEAN ministers already adopted the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. This is something that I think lack of knowledge in many of ASEAN people, because we are so busy to recover from this pandemic, and we are so busy also to ensure that we are safe during this crazy Delta variant, which is now that become more harm to us, because in Malaysia now we are proposed maybe to have the third jab. After the second dose, maybe we are thinking about to have a third jab for our people, and we are start to give an injection and dose to all the 13 above children, because we believe that it is how we can get the community herds 80% in Malaysia before we can open our country. And this is also is same line with the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. Yeah, but many of the government in ASEAN fail to address this thing to the people, so they become the center of criticism and condemnation by their own people, because the failure of a government to tell this is what happened in ASEAN, because we are so busy to take care of ourselves. And this is also actually a very systematic plan for recovering or resolving the COVID-19 crisis in the region. We cannot talking about our own country. We have to talk as a unity, as ASEAN, because if Indonesia cannot open the market or cannot open their borders, Malaysia cannot open the borders, this actually hinders all the relationship between the two countries. Yeah, look at us. I think I appeared in this summer course 2 times already online, compared 2019 when I flew to Semarang, and 2020 this pandemic start, and now it still continue. So this is the pandemic implication, and it's a really vital nature of communication during the recovery phase. So this is where every country, the government are being tested how they can bring the plan to the people, how we can solve. We might not solve this pandemic or endemic, yeah, in a short time. I do believe that it takes 2 or 3 years from us to come back to normal. I mean, even though we come back to normal, we are not going to get the normal as what we before. Yeah, so this is the very critical situation for the government to calm the people, because people are angry, and at the same time, are they really realize and make those people realize that actually we have the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. Okay, my aim of this discussion this morning is I want to talk about the examine the effect of COVID-19 on ASEAN integration. We cannot run away from talking about the ASEAN integration. And number 2, we evaluate this ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery process and its impact on ASEAN integration. And third, we make the recommendation for ASEAN integration in the aftermath crisis. We have to look about it, how long it takes, but we have to still discuss this. And it's very important for us actually to have a specific policy priority for implementation, which is must back up by fiscal commitment in order to promote greater regional integration. In other words, we can't do this without money. And at this time of crisis, many countries facing an economic problem. We can see that even in my country that is supposed to be 6.7 growth, now it's only 2.5. It's a huge, in economic, even 1% is a huge impact to the fiscal and also to the tax management by the government. So what is the effect of COVID-19 on ASEAN integration? Yeah, of course, it's really much, because if you can see, the pandemic has brought so far the immediate disruption in economic activities. As you can see, the whole region in Southeast Asia, mostly we depend in the tourism. For example, like Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, Philippines even, most of the income come from the tourism. So when there is no flight, there is disruption in air travel, and people cannot travel cross-border, and not even cross-border, even in Malaysia, interstate also you cannot cross. So what's you are talking about? It's really weakening the consumer and business confidence, because people cannot choose, and people start to feel their choice is being limited and their freedom are being restricted. So this is something that for me, in Southeast Asia, we are not yet like in France or in other European countries where people march, demonstrate, show they are not interested to be restricted during this. But you have to understand, our mindsets are different. Our people in ASEAN is different. We still, I can say 70% of us really follow the law. The balance 30%, yes, they can do what they want, and if they're being caught, they will be summoned and being compounded. But the problem in many countries in Southeast Asia is when there is no economic growing, we don't have income. So when there is no income, we face so many unemployment people. And unemployment means no money. No money means poverty. And if you already live on the line of poverty scale and you downgrade, now in Malaysia it's quite popular. Previously we refer to the people with a lower income of B40, meaning that their income is 40,000, not less than 40,000 per year. Now we bring another B60, just to show that it's a really worse, the situation getting worse, because the people who are middle class now going down to be poor, and the poor getting more poorer, and the T20, which is the income is more than 200,000 per year, are just also go down. So this is the impact of the ASEAN integration, because when we have the ASEAN integration, the first major problem that we talk is about to eliminate poverty. So now the poverty are become more higher. If you look in Manila, it's a common to see so many people living on streets and ask for the NGO for foods. We see also the same in many countries. Yeah, even in Malaysia, there are so many NGOs that move around, try to help homeless people or people that cannot pay anymore their house or something, and they have become homeless. That is a growing cases. So this is where a government take action that at the beginning, okay, you must have the social distancing. We temporary closure of school, but I don't know how much time that you have to temporary closure the school, because in Malaysia now we are already on online class or on the PDPR or whatever it is, which is online education. But not all people can do that, because not all parents have a money to provide internet. This is the reality in ASEAN country. I'm not only talking about my country, I'm talking the majority of ASEAN country, that when this pandemic happened, many of their parents of the kids, they lost their job. So when they lost their job, they have to lower their lifestyle. Means they lost many choices. And when it happened, they can't provide the tablets or the device for the children to have the online school, and the children also cannot have to pay the data for the internet. So, and also the non-essential business are still down. Our office, which is not under essential business, closed down. For example, like in my case, we can only go to office 40% of us. So we have to tolerate which who going to come today, who going to come tomorrow, and another day, and we cannot be the 100% in the office. And with this variant Delta, it's become worse because it's spreading through the airborne. So we are really like have to take care of ourselves. And when you have a lockdown, like last year, when Malaysia have a total lockdown in March 2020, we lost about 20 billion per day, our economy. And government say no more, we can't make it anymore. And also because the quarantine itself, bring the economic impact, because people cannot go to work. So it's really stoppage in production, and it's really affect the production and also productivities. And it's also disruption in a business operation, because if you have many people being infected by this disease, you can't operate your factory, and you are being ordered by the government to close the factory. That's why many of the business people are reluctant to do that. We got many cases, many clusters, because of the reluctance of the business people to close their business, despite the government asked them to do so. We got many cases where, for example, major majority of the people in Malaysia being affected through the workplace, and especially in a factory, industrial area. Because they are working in so many people and so open air, and when someone sneeze, it really can make the whole area being infected. So this is where I look at you. Then business versus government versus society. People say lockdown only for 1 or 2 days and we can be fine, but the business say no, one day I lost 5 billion. I can't do that, and how I want to pay my staff, maintain the tax, maintain all those maintenance for the factory or for the organization or any industry. So what they can do is, okay, we close that, but I cut the salary of my workers. Workers is already B40. You cut them, you make them worse. So this is the situation now. So I think not only in Malaysia, but around the world facing this when we will be more much infected by this disease. That's why the government must have a clear plan how to make sure that we live with this pandemic. We can't say that we have to tolerate with the 0 cases. We're not going to get the 0 cases. I'm sure by 2025, if we are still talking about the 0 cases, we're not going to get it. There is a people being infected, yes, but what is the next? Vaccination program. Why so slow? Vaccination program is supposed to be met by end of last year, but many of ASEAN countries only started middle of this year. When we see the skyrocket number of this COVID-19. So we blame the government for not having this thing, whereas they already signed this recovery momentum by December 2020. So this is the efficiencies of the government being questioned, except for Singapore. Singapore is already past herd immunity, despite their case still there, but they're now giving the vaccination to their teenagers. Whereas in Malaysia, we just allow to register, just register in the application, and we will see whether the government will call it or not. And still in the Greater Klang Valley, we very fast to give the dose as much as we can, and sometimes we reach about 700,000 per day vaccination, because we have to do this because the center of this pandemic in Malaysia is in the Greater Klang Valley, which is Kuala Lumpur area, where the so many, which is the area which is with so many habitats and people living. So and they will go out and they will distribute this disease to others. Yeah. So this is why the effect of COVID-19 on ASEAN integration is a very much impact, because the ASEAN integration is about to eliminate poverty, to bring more prosperity, and I can say a good life for the ASEAN people. But this really disrupt very much. So this is how we can evaluate the ASEAN comprehensive recovery process and its impact on ASEAN integration. This is a very important, because if you can see, ASEAN comprehensive recovery is a very good on paper. I have to say this without prejudice. You see they have an objective, they have a key principles, they have the approach. If you look at the key principle, it's to be focused, and then balanced, and impactful, pragmatic, inclusive, and measurable. So I really looking this into my government, where is your focus and how you balance it, and what is impactful for all of us, and how pragmatic you do this plan, and how much people that you include in this program, and how about the measurable, all those things. And then if you see also, the objective is really, we want to articulate ASEAN recovery strategy from COVID-19, and they want to guide ASEAN sector to assess, realign, or expedite work and priorities, which is like what we have at this moment. We can't run away from this virus, but we must start to educate our people that we have to live with this. That's why I always say to any interview of Malaysian TV with me, I said, don't say pandemic, say epidemic. It's already with us. If you say pandemic, people still thinking, what's the next government? Because we are still third world thinking about that. That's, yeah, we're living with virus. Whether you like it or not, tomorrow you might be infected by that. But please ensure the vaccinations activities are doing well. So then maybe if someone being infected after got two doses, they really can survive. Yeah, and I don't want to talk about which one is good, Pfizer, Sinovac, AstraZeneca, Moderna. So no, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not in that field. But for me, whatever the government have to do, please you must ensure the vaccination activities must be very fast. Yeah, and this is my critiques to many people, because I think how we want to realign, how I want to expedite, prioritize when the health of the people are still at stake. Yeah, and then we need to provide a reference and set priorities for ASEAN to cross-pillar coordination and contribution from broader stakeholders. Okay, in this kind of time, it's not about compete within ASEAN, it's about to work together. For example, Malaysian hospitals are getting more full with the patients. We start to have the, there's no beds, there is no wards for the COVID. Many of our hospitals become COVID fully hospitals, including my university's hospital, which is fully, we transfer the children hospital to be with the COVID fully hospital. So it's really, the task force is different, nurses is going to be different, the control will be different. So how we work during crisis, this is a very tough task. How we do it according to the law and according to the healthcare situation. So it needs the ministers, the leaders to think fast, not make a statement after that quiet. No, we want to be fast, because you need to understand that. And Singapore, despite they having a problem, they help us. They start to sending the oxygen and all that to Malaysian hospital, because we need that. Because we never thought that the case is going to be, start skyrocket, and at any time people at the level 2 need an oxygen to level 3, and then maybe level 3 can go down to level 4, which is, they need to be sleep or to be incubated and something like that. So this is a situation which can attack anyone during this time. I actually love to say that we are living in crisis. Actually, people hate me when saying this, but for me, we have to tell the people we're living in crisis. We actually living in a war situation, but the only thing is we don't have weapons. We know we have an enemy, but we cannot see them. But we don't have a weapon that really can kill the enemy. This is the difference between you have endemic and the real war, which is you can see who's who around you. Yeah, and this is what I said. If the government in Southeast Asia can understand this ASEAN comprehensive recovery and follow what is the objective that they themselves set, we can contribute to ASEAN Community Vision 2025 and strengthening the future resilience. Because if not now, then when? You have to see that the 3 countries which have the very high COVID-19 cases is Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia. Yeah, I don't know about Laos or Cambodia. Maybe they have many, but they don't do tests. Like Malaysia, we got screening many people. That's why we sometimes when people say don't screen the people, because when you screen you get so many numbers. But we have the policy that we screen the people. And we introduce also the self-personal kits. I want to buy it for myself, because if you feel that you not feel good with your body, just test it, because you might be infected by that. But I can see that only the level, which level is it, 1 or 2, which is not that you can just quarantine yourself at home. So this has become normal for us. Sooner or later, this COVID-19 will be like you get a flu and a fever. This is the things. The only things, we are in the situation where we don't know which one is good for us. So that's why this ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery is there to help us, to guide us how we can face this pandemic. But at the same time, we must also think that we have the responsibility to ensure that our ASEAN Community 2025 being achieved. Yeah. So the approach that we need at this moment, the whole of ASEAN community approach, as I said to you, it's not a time for Malaysia compete with Indonesia, Indonesia compete with Filipino. It's about to work together. How we can help each other so that we can get out from this pandemic and we can start our activities. We need money. We need economic. Yeah, we cannot leave our people just like this. And sooner or later, people will angry. Yeah, people will angry. They will show that dissatisfaction to the government in whatever it is. Yeah, and also clarity in direction. This is a very important clarity in direction where we're heading to. Where are we heading to? You cannot just today Prime Minister say another thing, tomorrow President say another thing, another day the DG of Health say another thing. No, clarity in direction. Okay, where are we heading to? Look at Singapore. Without prejudice, I have to say them. They already have direction. They said by October they will open back the Singapore economy. Okay, what they have done with their people. Okay, what is their first plan if this pandemic are still attack them? Okay, second plan, third plan. I want like that. This is what Malaysian people and others ASEAN people ask from the government. Clarity in directions. You cannot take everything off your hands or autopilot. Someone said this, someone said that. Yeah, and we also need a synergy and complementary with national responses. We need that. Yeah, so we can't just run away from that. That's why I said the communication between the leaders in ASEAN country is very important. What can we do to help? Yes, we're facing the same problem, but what can we do? The less problem can help the people with the most of a problem. And what is the work together that we can make sure that our people can cross the border again to do their business? And also agile and flexible implementation. That's why I said, what is the agile and flexible implementation? Should we allow people with already got 2 doses of vaccine travel? And what is the protection for them if they get that virus when they was abroad? Can this their insurance cover them? So this is the thing. That's what I say. You have to be very comprehensive. We must have very clarity in direction how we can deal with it. It's not something that that's so easy that okay, we think when it's come. No, you have to do it now because people want to go out, people want to move, people want to continue their life. You know, they can't wait for 2025. They want to know now. It's already going to be August 2021. Okay, what's next, government? What's next for New Year 2022? Are we still being like this? Are we still cannot cross the state? Are we still cannot cross border? So what's your next? So this is people question. In my country, people question this. People question directions of a government. Yeah, and then we have to follow all those phases approach, which is, as I said to you, we must know all the steps that are being already agreed during this ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery being signed last December. And then what we have to do is to recommendation for ASEAN integration. We must have this, yeah, because I think we must have the recommendation for ASEAN integration. It's about we must mobilizing all available macro financial and structures policy tools. Okay, in this case, many people, I take the example in my country because it's more clear and a proof evidence. Okay, many of SMEs, if a government still lock down them until this October, they will die. 1.5 of our SME will totally die if a government still do not have a plan for the SME after October. And 1.5 million will cost about 2 million people unemployed. This is really a crisis in poverty, in development. So I'm waiting what's next for the government, yeah. Despite they give all those bakul makanan, they give all the prihatin, they give whatever sinar, whatever they give, you know, they try to have all, but it's not enough because they do not protect the SME industry. So many of the people from the players in the SME industry say, what's next for us? If you still close like this, you still thinking this is not essential, this is essential, this is not essential, this is essential, we will die. Finish. Especially if you can see many industry die is the hotels industry. How many hotels in Malaysia are on sale? Yeah, even the good one also on sale now because they can't stand with it. They cannot have the whole overhead that 1,000 people per month. No. So they say we will have to let it go. How many people lost job from the tourism industry and also our aviation industries, and now it's followed by these non-essential industries. So we have to look on this, yeah, financial and structures policy and how the bank can help. Can the bank give him moratorium about 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? Yeah, and then secondly, we have to preserving the economic productivity capacity. How to have the preserving the economic productivity capacity when we're facing this crisis? This is another challenge to the Ministry of Trade and Industries. Yeah, nowadays people question. This time, people dare to question, what is your job? What are you doing? Look at in Thailand, they question, what are you doing to help us? Because Thailand, I think majority of them are really depending on the tourism industries. And we know that 30 billion per year of income from in Thailand government is from the tourism industry. And now they're left out for nothing. So they ask the government, what are you doing? You know, so what can we open or not? And they start slowly open Phuket from various countries and all that, you know, starting because you have to give the productivity capacity. Why? And this is for me, what's next for the unemployment people, especially when they lost their job at the age of 40 plus. when that, at that age, no one want to take them. People want to take all these young people to work that you can give them less salary. So this is the problem. And then how to keeping the supply chain going? How we want to do this? Because we need to keep people have a choice. But how you can make this supply chain going when many industries cannot live? For example, we critique the government because you ask the children to have the online class, but you say the bookshops and photocopy shop is not essential. I'm angry because my children say we need to buy watercolor, mommy, we need to buy this, we need to buy that. I say, no, I don't know where to buy it. And there's a solution, say yes, online. Yes, but online you cannot get it today. If you have it today, means that you have to order 2 or 3 days before. So, but sometimes, children, they just last minute tell you that, okay, I don't have this, so I need that. And the teacher also sometimes, okay, tomorrow bring this thing, even though you're in the house. So this is the thing for me. Please be practical. If you ask something to be on, look at the industries that is related to that, also have to be taken essential. Sometimes when you have that so much politics, not understand the needs of the people, also there's a problem. Sorry for me to saying this. When you talk about the ASEAN law, then you have to critique the situation or the attitudes of the ASEAN government too. And then we're talking about the ravagings on technologies and digital trade. Yes, this is the time where everyone is buying online. And if you see, the move on road is always the gig economy, which is like the Grab or the Food Panda or all those transporters companies, GNT, you name it. So meaning that people cannot go out, people are scared, but people using technologies and digital trade. So it's really boom. So how the government can help? And many people are selling the things during the platform of Shopee, Lazada, because for them, this is the only place. I cannot open my shop. And some close down the shop and bring the thing back home and have the platform on the digital trade. How to help these people? Yeah, and how to make sure that many people who less capacity also to join this digital trade. Sometimes they've got many things to offer, but because they are not online, that we don't know them. So this is every ministry have to play their role effectively and outside of the box. Yeah, you cannot just bring the traditional attitude of a government anymore. You must be very, very fast. You must look like how the digital change life of ASEAN people and how we can help during this pandemic. Yeah, and then lastly, we have a strengthening the social safety nets. How are we going to have to social safety nets? Because when people lose their job, when people have the problem with their depression, with their family crisis, because when you don't have money, you will get problems. Not all husband and wife can be stand when your other half lost their job. First, when you lost your job, you already depressed. Second, you will be in a sad situation because you cannot provide for your family. And if you got the other half, a wife or husband, which is really support you during this difficult time, you will be fine. But if you have someone that really not understand that, then you see the number of cases for divorce is very high. So this is something that always being overlooked by the people in the government. They always say, easy to say that, okay, calm down, life will be like this, everything will be fine after this. No, it's not fine for those people who lost their job. They have a commitment. They have a kids. They need to put food on the table. You can say that because you get 100,000 per month and everything is free for you, minister. This is the things. So easy for you to say, calm down, okay, calm down. It's not a calm down. It needs a very urgent situation to solve this problem. And then what is the number 6? You're scaling up regional pandemic responses. That's what I say. This is how all the country in ASEAN must help. If this country need an oxygen, this country have more oxygen, let it be. If this country having a problem with people who stranded to go back to the country, make it easy. Do the swab test, leave them. You cannot just say that, okay, you cannot go back to your country, yeah? And see how many of a couples, almost 2 years don't see each other. It's a stress, it's a depress. The husband went back to their country before the pandemic, and government of Malaysia closed the borders, and they can't. They cannot cannot come back. And when they write so many times to immigration say, no, you cannot come back. You cannot come back. I got a friend who married with this foreign husband, and the husband left before the pandemic and somewhere in January 2020. And when he wanted to come back in March 2020, borders already closed. How many times she wrote to the immigration of Malaysia and also the husband through the embassy of Malaysia in his country and say, your application is rejected. Your application is rejected. I say that it's almost 2 years, you know. The kids need the father. And he has a job here. How long that he can hold these things? That's why I said this is have to, the pandemic response need everyone to understand and work together. Not because, oh, I don't want to bring him out here because he might not get vaccination. He will give the pandemic. Everyone can bring this pandemic. Despite people who are healthy. You might be the house for this virus, you don't know. Because we are living in the world that which we do not know where our enemy. We know it's a virus, but we don't know where the virus actually. It could be on your hands, it could be on your head. So we have to take care of ourselves. But at the same time, please have the humanity toward each other and don't use, you know, any dictatorship style to stop and control people from doing what they want to do. Especially, I think, on a situation where the parents are living alone or the parents have sick and they don't have anyone to look after them. The government must look this thing very carefully. And the last but not least, redoubling the resolve to advance regional integration. How to redoubling the resolve? You can't redoubling the resolve if you don't know how to bring your country out of this endemic. So again, we're back to the square one. What is next for us? Where are we heading to in this situation? As long as the government fail to answer that, meaning we are nowhere. Yeah, and don't introduce us the fake news law, this news law. No, people want to hear all those kind of news. People want to make their own, I can say, balance on this. So don't stop people from thinking what they want to think. Sometimes I think many ASEAN countries using the lockdown as to stop the freedom of people. I know you want to curb this situation, but sometimes on unreasonable situation, you do not have humanity on certain times. And sometimes when the ministers or the people of a VIP doing all those against the SOP and there's no action for them, and when it's come to the normal people, you are really fast taking action. That's also something that you should imbalance and using the law to stop people. That is from my personal perceptions and thinking. Okay, as a conclusion, I think the next step of ASEAN integration agenda, we have to start look from the midterms review to the development of post-2025 vision, should make the integration outcomes in the future not only better, but also more inclusive and resilient. I think, first of all, we must enhance the living standard of ASEAN people. And we must enhance them to know more on the digital, so then they can take part in the digital economy, which is now become very common. And I think ASEAN journey beyond COVID-19 is not going to be easy, because even though we have the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Frameworks and its implementation, but it's just only a guide to build a better future for the region after the pandemic. As I said to you, we are in very early stage to come up from this. And I think how to make it happen is really depend crucially on the action taken by countries and commitment by ASEAN to step up and the support and contribution from various stakeholders of ASEAN. Back to back is us and how we have to give a response to our government. I think in my situation is we are waiting for what is the next step after the parliament is open. People want it to be debate. People want to know where the country heading to. People want to know how long the economy is going to be like this and how long you want to impose this lockdown or this certain lockdown on certain area and what is next, because I think we need to know. And also as someone that really involved in the plan for the country, I already put a few conditions and also recommendation for the government that, first of all, I think they have to look how Malaysian government and others government in ASEAN can work together, because we have to know and understand the situation of ASEAN itself. How far is actually we can achieve this recovery momentum. Because it's no point to have this very nice ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework, but actually we not start it yet. And I think the worst scenario in ASEAN is the vaccination program. Yeah, my country is to make it very, very fast nowadays because we get 47 million Pfizer, the dose, and we start to give to everyone that need to get it, and we are really give in the area where the cases are very high. So, and we seal the area when we know there is a COVID living in that area, we seal that area, we give the jab, because we have to do this. If not, I think we're going to be worse for next month. You know, with yesterday, the highest numbers of infected, about 17,000, and the people died, about 99 people. I think we reached one day before 199 people died per day. That is not good sign for Malaysia. So people demand the action from the government, and the government show every day. We can see our ministers of science and technology appear and tell them, okay, this is the today we this many of this, and the ministry also show every day in their website how many people being taking first dose, second dose, and all that. And me myself, this Thursday I will get my second dose for AstraZeneca. So I think that's how we help each other, and not to talk about the people who anti-vaccine. I think just anti-vaccine, just leave them alone. You know, they don't want, let them die, because if they want, let them die too. Because for me, we can't just make everyone happy and all that. If you want to take the vaccine, go ahead. If you don't want to take the vaccine, you take care of yourself. I'm just like that, because the people are start talking, why don't we take an action on them? No, that's human rights. You have to respect. If they don't want, let it be. And if they die, God bless. Because for me, I take the vaccine. I want to protect my family. I want to protect people around me. I don't know. Many people say to me, you don't know, after you take the vaccine, suddenly you become this like that. I said, sorry, I still have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and I'm still okay. After my first vaccine, I'm still fine. And I'm going to take my second vaccine this Thursday. I hope I'm also fine, still alive. So don't worry. Just leave it, because I think sometimes we have to make a correct choice for ourselves and for people around us. Yeah, and we try our best as a good citizen to help our countries, to help our leaders, and despite we critique them, but at the same time we play our role to help each other. So thank you very much, and I hope we have a time to have a question and answer session. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Professor Salawati, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so thank you for the amazing explanation from you regarding the COVID situation in ASEAN. Actually, it is the same here in Indonesia, because yeah, at the moment, we okay. We are now imposing the lockdown, even though the name is not lockdown. Yeah. Okay. So because if the government of Indonesia use the real lockdown, we need to like give the people the food, the money. We need to fulfill the needs of the people, and simply the government didn't have any money to pay the people. That is the situation. I know that the government is very confused. I know the situation of the leader, of the minister. We as a lecturer, we read a lot. I mean, like the discussion is always between the health situation or the economy. That is the situation. I don't know whether in Malaysia it's like that or not, but if I saw the news like several days ago in Australia, in Sydney, the people are doing a strike because the lockdown and so on and so on. I think the situation is almost the same during in ASEAN region. Don't you think like that, Professor Salawati?
Yes, very much. I think in ASEAN we have a common situation. Okay, the only thing is the numbers of our people. Indonesia, you got 245 million population, more or less. How come the government want to ensure that everyone get this thing, right? In Malaysia, we got 33 million population. Even, our government try their best to give whatever they can. Despite that, you cannot fulfill everyone. People will still critique. People will still saying that you don't do enough. I think in this kind of situation, we should appreciate. I don't want to criticize my government too much, because I think there is no other government before them having this situation. So we have to understand that. But they need to provide us the way out. Yes, I say, what is your plan? Are you waiting for this or what? Because the ministers are still got the full salary, okay? So we are, and others are start to being cut their salary and all that. So people angry. You have to understand, when the poverty come or people lose their job, they become unstable. They want to know what's next. You got the salary, you got house, you got everything free. But for us, no, we have to find. We lost the job. What's next? That is my Malaysian people ask. And I think my government try their best to give everything for those people, but they also ask those people who still have money to help with NGOs. And one thing that I appreciate in Malaysia, our NGOs, our society are very, very sensitive with the needs of the underprivileged people. And if there is a virus, people will really go for it. So that's why we have the white flags. Yeah, we have the white flag campaign, which is many politicians not happy with it, because they say it's look that they don't do their job. Well, maybe they don't do their job. So we said, okay, if you have a problem, just raise the white flag at your home. We come and help you. Yes. And it's really work, because when we see that, many NGOs come, okay, what you need? We need food. We don't have a job. Okay, we give you what you need as far as we can. So I think that is the situation. To fulfill everyone in the country is impossible. But to have a plan to help the people is possible, and please show. And I believe in Malaysia, the business community, they don't want to tolerate anymore about the lockdown. No matter what you do, they still say, give the operation, give them to operate, because otherwise they can't find their money to pay and maintain their business. So the government is between businesses versus people. And sometimes I can see that our ministers choose businesses in this area. And people also said, because that's too long in this situation, they say, okay lah, what to do? If we die, we die. We need to work. We need to find the money. We will die because of starving rather than because of COVID. So still in this situation, government of Malaysia have a crisis between businesses versus society.
Okay, thank you, Professor Salawati. Now we move on to the question from the participant. Firstly, I have a question from Pak Pulung, one of our colleagues also. Pak Pulung, if you have any question?
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible, Mas Dias?
Yes, I can hear your voice.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for this special occasion, and also hello, Dr. Salawati. We meet again in this forum, even in virtual. Thank you very much that you can join in this Lex Proficia 2021. And before I continue in my question, actually, I would like to congratulate Mas Dias as a the committee to uphold and to organize this summer course. Congratulations, Mas Dias, and also from all the committee in behind on this summer course. So, Doctor, actually, I always enjoy your explanation, because you always very far away to deliver the point, and also your point is also very clearly enough to understand. But in this context, I would like to have 2 points that maybe you. I hope that you can respond my point. You said that this is not pandemic, but this is an endemic. So that's why that in this weather, pandemic or endemic, yeah. I mean, like right now, the global society is beginning justifiable hope in the vaccine, but it won't end this pandemic, because actually there's so many have raised the issue. For example, like the issue from the distribution of the vaccines, and also the integration of the country to help each other to tackle the economic crisis behind on that. So based on your view, would you mind to describe what is the best solution, or maybe can you figure out what is the durable solution or the best practice to this pandemic series actually? So I want to know that based on your views. And the second, I would like to ask your opinion also in regarding about have the statement of the EU and also USA and also followed by Australian that mentioned the infographic is one of the solution that the maybe people may not know, people maybe doesn't understand or people may not know about that. So which is that we can highlight the issue of the transparency. So in this point, not all the country can give the direct transparency to their people, right? So sometimes it's also raised the fallacies in their society or maybe in global society that pro China or contra with China, or maybe try to figure out the people to make a grouping to just like facing up about this pandemic series. So I think it will be have more treat in the digital war itself actually, because they not giving transparency or they're not giving something that derives of the fallacy between two countries or maybe the global society. So that's my concern and my question. I hope that you can respond my question. Thank you very much, doctor, and stay safe there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mas Dias.
Okay, I want to respond with two questions by Mr. Pulung. Okay, endemic or pandemic? We are no more era of pandemic. We are endemic already. They're living with us. You know, day by day, you heard your friend being infected. I got my staff already being infected. The mothers-in-law passed away. So this is no more like something that you say, oh, far away from me. No, it's come nearer to you. And if I'm not mistaken, last year, WHO have a report saying that they believe 70% of world population will be infected by this disease, but it can be reduced by the vaccination program. So I think they are trying to tell us that the vaccination is the best for this moment. Of course, we don't know what is the best, but I think if that is the best by WHO and all of them are experts, I do believe that. I'm a practical people. I do believe on the scientifics rather than, you know, you take all the herbs and all that, because I don't condemn Thailand for allow the people to do herbs. That's their rights. But for me, I want something which is clinical proven, so then I can believe on it. All right. And if they say this thing is good, then you follow it. All right. As you said, that's the best practice. Actually, there is no best practice yet because US are still struggle with that. Europe still struggle with that. The only thing we can control is how is the variant go in our country and in our society. That's why I say, please follow the SOP. I want to take you one issue in Malaysia. The people who be infected, when you look at the record, they normally go to the place where there are so many people and there is no social distancing. So you can always see that if it comes from the working place, it's always factory, because factory are very hard for them to have the SOP. You know, but if you live in an office, you have it because you can control the major presence of your staff. But if a factory, production need this, production need the technician, need the staff, so they will come all together. And not all the factory having the swag program for their foreign people. And the problem in Malaysia is we have the foreign workers who actually bring these things start from their house, not because they're living in the house with about 20, 30 people per house, and then they go to work, they're spreading to others, local staff. So this is the issue. So for me, if you ask me what is the best, I always want to see the government come out with this health experts talking about how economic and health can go together. That is the best. People want to get the economic to go back. Me, myself, want the economic to go back. For those who are in the business, we die. Yeah, but we need that. But how? That's why I say how. And there is no country in the world can bring this solution. Even US, why the President Biden campaigning with this vice president saying that take the vaccination, take this vaccine, because for them that is the best. You can, when you reach the community herds, that is the best. Then you can open your economic slowly and slowly. Okay. That is so far for me the best practice that we can do, because there's no other way. There's no one country in the world that protects, saying that okay, we are the best, we are free from COVID. Even New Zealand say okay, but when they heard the country like Australia having that, we close the borders. Still they're being infected despite their people don't have it. Even Brunei still, because they are neighboring with us. Yeah, so the worst scenario in Sabah and Sarawak will affect Brunei. So they will always saying that the best is when you make your neighbor also free from this endemic. All right, regarding the infographic and the transparency, there is always a world politics in everywhere. You know, you can see that how China being bashed because they said they love the head of WHO, and US saying this and that. there is always a agreement on this between them. But for me, we have to be very clear to our people. Okay, I take that my country is easy. When the Ministry of Health Education say, okay, today is 17,000, yeah, being infected, some people make a joke. The parliament want to open soon, suddenly the number high rise, isn't it? It's because you politicians still want to have the power. So you make a joke lah about this. Suddenly yesterday 15, today 17. You are just make a joke because you don't want the parliament to be open, right? Isn't it? You want to longer this emergency proclamation. That's your point. Some people say that. For me, no. That's a real number. So whether they play with or not, it's affected us. So the transparency from the government to people must be there. Okay, this is the die today 200. 200. Don't care. You have to tell the people the scenario is we are in crisis. Yes, we are. Our hospital cannot have this thing anymore. Our frontliners already burnt out. Finish. If you don't take care of yourself, you're being infected. This is a scenario that you have to face. Simple. And don't be like this one. I don't care about what the international, because US and China, they were fighting until end. So don't care about these people. And everyone try to have the vaccine diplomacy to ensure that they're being boosted. Yeah, US with Pfizer, China with Sinovac, and Pfizer said, I don't recognize Sinovac. And the certain country who's American ally, who take their Sinovac, I don't want them to come to my country. And then some people say, oh, AZ also is not good because it's not made in Oxford, it's made in India. All those crazy things. For me, I don't care whatever it is. Take the jet wherever you can, protect yourself. Later we talk about it. Simple. All right.
Can I ask you a question again, Doctor?
Yes, Pudong.
Yeah. So I would like to asking the final question. So based on your explanation, do you agree that the China should be responsible from this endemic?
What is the proof? Many writers talk about it. Many say we sue China. What is the proof? What is the proof? Even though if they do that, okay, if you ask me personally, COVID-19 is not pandemic. COVID-19 is biological weapon. That is for me. More me myself. You know, I'm doing it by myself, and I think this is not just a bird flu or another flu. No, it's a biological weapon for me. Even in my class, I say that's my things without prejudice to anyone. You cannot sue me because it's my thinking. It's a biological weapon. For whatever reason, who do that? Who studied is biological weapon to conquer the world. Finish. Here's my perspective alone. Don't follow. Okay. Thank you.
It's a very boldly statement. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, what a great discussion from Pak Pulung and Dr. Salawati, Professor Salawati. And we move to the next question. We have question from Danish. We have question from Danish. Do you believe that ASEAN should create a control center for epidemic to create a systematic and standardized SOP through all ASEAN countries? This is because, as you say, if only one country is open, it does not mean much, as there will be no economic trade and tourism development.
Okay. Good if you have the created control system, but I think SOP almost standard to all the countries, same. We don't have a different standard. The only thing, the problem that we must have is the socio-economic of each ASEAN countries are different. Look at Singapore, they are already almost get their community herds and they want to open their economy based on the situation of their country. Malaysia, if we can manage to have 83% of our adults being get the dose, we definitely can open our market by December. Yeah, but it's only market in Malaysia market. I'm not yet about the cross border. The point I want to tell you that is the problem that I want to tell you, the problem we have is each country have a different way of taking an action of this pandemic. Yeah, it's good. We can have one center, but to put everyone the same is difficult because you have to understand Myanmar is under junta, Thailand is under military, some are under president, some is under proclamation of emergency like Malaysia. So to make everyone having that cannot. But that's why we have this recovery momentum. Is to everyone to follow it. And how you do it is according to you. If you are choose to be snail, then you will be like snail. If you are choose to be like a cheetah, then you will be more. So we can't force. In ASEAN, it's only consensus, no force. So if you want to get rid of it, you must work towards it. If you don't want, then you will be left behind. The problem is the economy of ASEAN countries are not same. Singapore is a developed country. Malaysia, Indonesia developing. And less developed like Myanmar, who are having a problem with their pro-democracy, the crisis, and also Cambodia and Laos, who's most of the economic controlled by China. So you can't do that much. So to have the one center to help, yes, but to regulate everyone to do the same is impossible. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Professor Salawati. What a great answer from you. And we move to the next question from Ainur Anissa. Greetings, Professor. I am Anissa. I would like to ask your opinion on Malaysia's current condition. Though the Asian Comprehensive Recovery Framework was tried and to be implemented, we can see that difference on the effectiveness if we are comparing between Malaysia, Singapore, and other ASEAN countries. And this might caused by the leadership from both countries. My question is how to ensure this framework stay relevant and effective despite of issues related with politics and countries' leaders. Moreover, the citizens are not well aware about this framework. The citizen could do to contribute, what the citizens could do to contribute for the nation recovery. That is the question from Ainur Anissa.
Okay. If you comparing orange and apple is very difficult. You can't compare Malaysia and Singapore. One developed country, one developing country, and you know that developing country we still much problem with corruption, with non-transparency, and all the politics at every level of our ministry. Compared to Singapore, they are very transparent. They do it very clear. Their procurement can be easy accessed by the people, and where Malaysia not allowed. So that's the very easy to make a comparison between these two countries. And I think the question how we want to ensure this framework stay relevant and effective, I think again and again this recovery plan need a political will. That's why I say if your leaders knows about it and work towards it, that will be okay. But if we are still dealing with all those rubbish in our country, blah blah blah, this direction is not, this not, so you will not get to achieve it. You will achieve it but very long compared other countries who already opened their borders and spread the economy like normal. So I think again, I agree with you that Malaysian people do not know about this framework. For those who are doing ASEAN, they know, but for those who don't know, no. And our people also got a problem because Malaysian people always believe in their own self. And the way that our news being written is all controlled by the government. So the government don't want people to know what is outside of their country. This is this is always the I can say practice of the third world countries government, which is they are afraid if people know better, then people will start to say, hey, why you not do whatever supposed to do, man? So they don't like it. They don't like people to challenge them, and they don't want the young people to know about it. So then the old will be in the power. So this is the problem. Yeah, I have to be critical here because I think this recovery plan must have the political will to do that. If you are talking about it and the political will just like looking and that's not my problem, I want to maintain to be ministers, I want to get whatever I suppose as ministers, then they don't go anywhere. This is what we see today. And how we can do for our citizen to understand it, there is always, for me, my part is I always go through NGOs, I always go with my students, I always have my scholars group that we talk about it, we tell the people as much as we can, this is a situation. That's why we come out with the proposal to the government. Don't ask me how many times the government just reject that. But for me, we did our part as a scholars, as a researcher, as a lecturer, to tell the government what is supposed to. They don't want to take it, that's their problem. But for me, I do my part. And the more important is I want my people to understand that we have the framework. And if the government lend their ears to the scholars, even for 5 minutes, to listen without have the mind of political interest, then they will be success. The problem is in third world country is every level and layer of a ministry is a politics. So before it's reached us, we don't know where it's heading to. It's so vacuum. So that's the reality. It hurts, yes, it hurts, but that we have to tell the truth, because we must realize that this is problem not in Malaysia, but in many countries around ASEAN. That's why this recovery plan is only Singapore taking care of it. Because as you know, Singapore don't want to be left behind. They always want to be the leader. And Singapore make it as a leader. And you don't agree with them because they have a political will to do that. And money, more important. So that's it. And I think what you can do that after this, you are the one who listen to this regarding this recovery plan. Tell your best. Maybe you can have a talk. Maybe you can have online discussion with your friends and call the expert to explain as much as they can to the people. So I think that is the best. Awareness. We are in third world, always lack of awareness. We can't compare with the first world country. First world country, we don't need awareness. They're already aware. We just need to implementation. Compared to third world country, we start from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. For the developed country, they already jump after 10. This one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, understand or not? Okay, if not understand, I come back. 1, 2, 3. This is a third world country. So this is the situation. Many people say, wow, very bad you are saying this. Yes, I'm saying this because I'm majoring in development, and I think this is our problem. Not in Malaysia, but in many other countries. In the Philippines, in Thailand, it's almost the same. This is a problem. So what you can do, after this, go online, make it a talk, call all your university friends, attend it, call the international participant, give and ask them what they believe on it. We need other people to give their mind of thinking. Don't believe that you can do it alone. No, we have to take other people's experience also, so that will be better for us. Thank you.
Okay, Professor Salawati, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So we move to the next question from Muhammad Shaswan. Good morning, Professor. I am Shaswan. I would like to ask your opinion about the relevancy of reopening all economic sectors amidst this COVID-19 outbreaks.
Okay. At this moment, we have the essential, non-essential based on the Act. But in reality, in practice, all industries essential. All is essential.
Yes, I agree with you with that.
Yeah, all essential. We are British common law. You know what? And this act is like long time ago during no more pandemic. So that's why I said all the laws need to be amended and look at the scenario of 21st century, especially after this. Yeah, this is a problem when you are having the British common law system. You know, always backwards. The point is like, okay, you're talking about relevancy. For me, you can open the economic sectors, but again, where is the plan for the health and the plan for the economic and plan for the social? I want to, okay, you look at how even Japan have this economic plan, health plan, and also cultural, social plan, but they can always say at any time they have a lockdown. Remember, they're not saying that, okay, when we open forever. No, Japan have this, I can say this plan when they want to open their economy. But they always say if there is a need for them to lock down, they will lock down. Because they first they look at the health. So in this kind of situation, if you're talking about Malaysia, actually everyone is important to the economy. I mean, you know, you go to the area near our university, you see that all those small sellers having kiosks, they open their kiosks like nothing happened. And when I ask them, you have to be stay at home. Who want to give us money? You. I understand. I just want to ask them. Then they said, we don't have money. Yeah, and the government cannot give me money. You know, government what? Per month, 500, and only for 3 months. What can I do with 500? Nothing. You know, so I agree with them. But they have a very strict SOP. You cannot come near them. You cannot come to the kiosk. They will make it 1 meter, and you just say what you want. And then the money, please use the QR code. They don't take the money from you, okay? Or you online with them. So this makcik and pakcik, this uncle and aunties, they are digitalized already. You see the banana fried stall in Bangi, they already have the QR code, you know. So just pay out. That's it. They don't give them money. They know already. So I think this is the thing. So if for me, please open the economic sectors one by one, especially in the country, to make people life are still there. But where is the plan? I want the plan. I want to see what is the help plan and what is the backup plan and what is next. That's all we need from the government at this moment.
Okay, Professor Salawati, that is a very good answer from you, because I think that not only Malaysia facing that kind of problem, Indonesia is also facing the same problem with Malaysia. The government separate the economic sector based on the essential and non-essential. But in fact, most of the people, who maybe like they are selling and trading something non-essential, how can they earn money? That is the question, because a lot of Indonesian people are protesting the policy. Yeah, so I think it is happening everywhere in the world regarding this pandemic situation. Okay, and any more question? Oh, we have another question. Good morning, I am Shahira from Taylor University, and I have a question whether total lockdown will be efficient despite the huge economic loss. Again, related to this discussion between the health aspect and economic aspect.
I can say actually, when we have the total lockdown last year, that is the most efficient total lockdown we ever had, which is about 1 month, and we lost about 5 billion per day. And after that, we can't lose it anymore. I think that's what I said, how much the government can balance between the social and the economic. Because the government cannot give just help or any things to the foods or any vouchers anymore to the people, and people don't like it. People want to go to work. I think if you're talking about the economic versus this society, the economic will win. The society want the money, and people knows that is the virus in our life. But if you sit down, who going to pay your bills? Banks are no humans, no moratorium. You are not affected. You have to go. Our electric bill will come every end of the month. Water bills, all the bills will come. And this bill, they are inhuman. They don't care. You don't pay, we cut you. Simple. And I think if I can say that the worst is like in Saudi Arabia, when many people have the thinking that they are rich, they are not rich. So when the government of Saudi Arabia, during this pandemic, they really increase the tariff for electric and water, and many people suffer. Yeah. So this is for me, if you can give your people, or if you can really have the good management of money of your country, you can see like Singapore, I can see that when they still have the lockdown, they will say, okay, for those who having rental house with the government of Singapore, you will wait for 2 months, 3 months, so the government can do that because they have a lot of money. Like our government, I don't think so. Yeah, many of the government in third world country, that's I said to you, we have a problem because of mismanagement of money. And we do not have a procurement which is open for us to check where the money goes. Rather like in Singapore, they are digitalized procurement. You can just type and you can see which company, who is the owner and all that. In Malaysia, we can't do that. So I think if you ask me whether total lockdown will be efficient, it will be efficient for that particular time. Once you open, the number will be high. But it's again back to people. If people want to have a life, want to get back their normal life, maybe not 100%, they must follow the SOP. That's all. But again, the third world people mentality is very hard to be understood. I don't know what to say, because sometimes I see people, when we're talking about wearing masks. Some people, they just freely, don't wearing masks. When we ask them why you're not wearing mask, they'll start fight with you. Second, I think we need a very clear that if you don't do this, the SOP, that's it. That's why many shop, they want to open the business. They say, no, only 3 customer per time. So only 3 on that, the rest outside. And then you have to scan the MySejahtera, you have to do this, you do all. Then that's it. If you don't do, don't let you come inside. I think the SOP must be understood and must be respected. The problem also because some of these people, they don't want to, and that it will be more worse. But sometimes you cannot blame them too, because the area of their life is so crowded. And see, how many people living in the low-cost flat is actually most impacted rather than people who living in the better area. So this is all played a role. You know, okay, I just want to say something. This pandemic opened the Pandora box about the social, economic, and progressive of a people in that country. When this pandemic happens, suddenly you know that how we treat the migrant workers, how we treat our low-class people, how we treat our labor group. Actually, God wants us to show that and how to do better for this group. Because this group is the one who being affected. The rich people, they don't affected. They still can go outside of the country. They got the Pfizer when the early end of that last year when we don't know what Pfizer is all about. They got money, they buy it, and they flew to London. They leave us back in the country. This is the life of the VIP. And how many of them are still enjoying in Turkey, in Tokyo, in Naratiwat, but we are not even can cross back to our hometown. That's the reality. So we're talking about it. You ask the SOP, the VIP also have to follow the SOP. As long as no, then people will not put the trust into this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for your answer. And I actually have a question from myself. Do you think that it is like the situation is like this? Do you think that, or do you have a comparison of a country which successfully controlled the pandemic using the lockdown policy or using any policy from the country?
Okay, so far, if you say this, I look like New Zealand. New Zealand, they are really can control the situation because of geography. They don't have a neighbor. Yeah, they are just alone. But they have a very strict maritime restriction, you know, because if you know in New Zealand, they don't play nonsense with their environment. So, and they are really taking care of the situation. Look at even, I think, and when they heard, I said, so when they heard the neighbor in Australia start to have it lockdown, they close their border automatically, despite they don't have anyone. Yeah, but there are people in their life, in their country can have the normal life. Like maybe they don't have any mask. For example, like my cousin who living in Montreal, they already have reached the community herds. They don't wear masks anymore. They can having fun in during the summertime in parks, hiking and all that, because for them they're rich already. So I think, and also because they are first world country, as again, and I say the mentality of a first world country is we want to be free. We don't want to be, you know, being tight with this all, you know, rigid situation because of pandemic. So they follow the SOP. So when they say lockdown, everyone is locked down. Not everyone, you know, suddenly using the workings paper to go back to the hometown. This is all the mentality of a third world country. But the first world country, no, we don't go anywhere, we lock down. That's why it's easy for them to reach the community health. And also the government are very, very strategic to implement this. You know, this is again, as I said to you, there is always a huge differences in terms of the management of country between the first world country and the third world country. Because the first world country is always have the political wills to do that.
Okay, very good answer from Professor Salawati. And then my next question is, since your expertise is on the Asian law, do you think that is it possible that the Asian community, like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines, we create like one big policies for the Asian countries and maybe the neighbor who want to join the policies in order to battle the pandemic?
I think we don't need that, because if you can see that our foreign minister is always time by time having a connection. Because as I said to you, during this time, if we have that, how far we can follow it? With the numbers of the cases in our countries is different, and also the way we tackle the problem is different, because it's more on the government efficiency. Okay, Malaysia, for example, now we are the #1 in the world vaccine our people, because we cannot take the criticism anymore from the people, and people are question why. So the government say, okay, once we get the dose, we just go for it, and every day they show, okay, on Klang Valley we got about 1 million people, tomorrow 155,000 people. So they keep changing that thing, so people will put a trust on them. Yeah, and they show also, of course there is 2 or 3 cases, but I think that's a very isolated. So that is the way. If we want to have that, then who want to be the leader? And if you are talking Singapore to be a leader, they can do it because they have money. But about us, how can the other ASEAN country get to that standard? Because as I said to you, the problem with us is always politics in every layer. That Singapore, less bureaucracy, no red tape. We are doing this, we're doing it. They are very clear from the beginning. But for us, we want to do this. Okay, we are being hindered because we have this act. Or you cannot do this because these conditions are not permitted by the Secretary of State. This is a situation in Malaysia. This cannot, that cannot. So why is not? So at the end of the day, it just only become the discussion among the ministers. No need. For me, give a priority to vaccine the people. Please reach the community herd, then we can open back. And with the strict SOP. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Professor Salawati. Anyone who wants to ask question directly to Professor Salawati, you can easily raise your hand or type your question at the chat box. I will read it for Professor Salawati. Okay, seems we've had no question, Professor Salawati, and that's all the discussion for today. Professor, you can give your closing statement for this very first session.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I always grateful to be the first person, and Undip is always give me a priority to be the first person to deliver this presentation. And I also feel very happy to see the participant, almost 51 of you. Thank you very much. I hope that my humble knowledge that I share with you this morning can bring something to you to think something. And also for me is whatever I say is just based on my freedom of academician and nothing to harm or less any government. And I think whatever needs from us is to work together with the government to ensure our people reach the best during this endemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Salawati, for your wonderful speech for this morning. And seems like Professor Salawati rechecked out from the Zoom meeting. So thank you all of the participants who joined this very first session of Lex Proficia 2001 online summer course. We still have another session after this, and the second session will be guided by Professor Edi Pratomo, who is the former Minister of Republic of Indonesia to Germany. Thank you for the great discussion. Donis, I'll give back the time to you. Thank you and good afternoon.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Diasta Mandita Ramadan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next session, we will take a photo for our documentation. So for all the participants, I would like for all of you to please turn on your camera. All right, everyone. Again, I would like for all of you to please turn on your camera because we are going to have a photo session. All right. On my sign, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I guess once more. Again on my sign. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and all my fellow academicians, I hope you guys still hold on to your spirit because we have put a little welcoming video for all of you to introduce the Faculty of Law, Universitas Diponegoro, as well as a brief explanation what will you guys be doing during this summer course program. So I believe that you guys have received your own booklet, but here's a little video for everyone. So please enjoy.
Welcome to Law Faculty of Diponegoro University. We have two campus sites to study with 4 buildings at Tembalang and 3 buildings at Peleburan.
Jadi menurut saya Semarang tuh kota yang sangat cocok dijadikan tempat untuk belajar mahasiswa karena nggak terlalu banyak distraction di kota Semarang.
Selain itu, dalam segi pembelajaran pun para dosen-dosen juga men-trigger kami untuk bisa menjadi long life learner dan juga fast learner.
Dosen yang benar-benar saya suka dalam memberikan pelajaran karena mereka langsung memberikan kita kayak study case.
The learning process were supported by competent lecturers.
Kita tidak bisa mikir mahasiswa itu dalam arti orang yang sama sekali tidak punya pengetahuan apa-apa. Justru dari mereka itu pengetahuan itu harus digali dan itu harus didiskusikan. Dan saya coba praktekkan sekarang dan terutama untuk kelas-kelas saya atau bimbingan-bimbingan saya dan ternyata itu berhasil.
Banyak di leading kasus yang diberikan ke mahasiswa itu aja. Ya banyak, sehingga mahasiswa jadi terbiasa berpikir gitu.
Di dalam Fakultas Hukum Universitas Diponegoro, dosen itu memang harus sangat komplit kriterianya. Antaranya adalah benar-benar mengaktualisasi apa yang namanya tridharma perguruan tinggi, di mana dosen itu tidak melakukan pengajaran saja di dalam kelas, tetapi dosen juga memang harus melakukan penelitian, sekaligus juga melakukan pengabdian kepada masyarakat.
Books, journal, and all high-quality materials of legal studies can be accessed at our library. Diponegoro University maintains a valuable partnership with high-quality international universities across the globe. Furthermore, studium general from partner universities were conducted to motivate, transfer knowledge, and building critical learning environment for the student to have opportunities and brighter future accordingly.
Kalau aku sih yang program yang paling aku tunggu di FH Undip, apalagi di IUP itu student exchange-nya, pertukaran pelajarnya yang akan dilaksanakan semester 4. Jadi kita akan melaksanakan student exchange itu selama 6 bulan atau 1 semester di antara Belanda, Australia atau Malaysia.
I really like the Faculty of Law at Undip. I'm impressed with the size. You've got so many staff, so many students. So it allows you to do many more things. With a big faculty like this, you have many more specializations. So I think that's a great benefit for your students.
I'm very surprised. The facility is very good. I think this faculty developed very fast and in a very conducive manner because I think the new building and also the present building can cater the high number of students every intake. And I think Diponegoro can excel in future with this kind of facility.
Our standard of education is always at the highest level.
Fakultas Hukum Undip selalu meraih akreditasi A. Itu semua bisa diraih karena kerjasama tim, dukungan dari para pimpinan institusi, khususnya di fakultas, mulai dari dekan, para wadek, para kasubag, KTU, kasubag, kemudian para dosen, tendik dan mahasiswa.
Undip sendiri sangat mensupport berbagai macam platform sampai menyediakan single sign-on system gitu. Jadi kami setiap dosen di sini gitu diberikan fasilitas berupa alamat email yang yang masing-masing diberikan namanya masing-masing, sehingga setiap mahasiswa yang akan berkomunikasi tidak harus berkomunikasi secara tatap muka. Bisa juga mahasiswa tersebut melakukan komunikasi secara online gitu.
Sebagai cara kita mendukungnya itu adalah kita mempersiapkan baik secara akademis, mutu mahasiswa, mutu dosen, juga secara non-akademis, yaitu mempersiapkan sarana prasarana atau fasilitas yang digunakan untuk mendukung kegiatan akademis. Misalnya kita punya ruang kuliah yang berstandar internasional insya Allah. Kemudian kita juga punya berbagai fasilitas lain seperti hall untuk kegiatan mahasiswa, untuk kemudian mengadakan seminar-seminar nasional maupun internasional. Kita juga punya lab yang digunakan untuk khususnya mata kuliah kemahiran litigasi, dan juga untuk latihan untuk menghadapi berbagai kompetisi peradilan semu. Kemudian kita juga punya berbagai meeting point yang tersebar di seantero FH yang biasa digunakan mahasiswa untuk berkumpul kalau mereka ingin berdiskusi atau mungkin untuk mempersiapkan mereka dalam menghadapi lomba-lomba baik sifatnya internasional maupun nasional ya.
Diponegoro University is the right place to study law, with various major of law studies to be chosen, from bachelor degree to doctoral degree. And lecture is not the only college life. Students have various choices to express themselves and also improves non-academic ability.
UKMF itu hadir sebagai tempat mahasiswa untuk mengaktualisasikan dirinya, untuk mencari hal-hal yang mungkin saja tidak didapatkan di kelas. Selama aku di SDG, aku sudah berkompetisi di 2 kompetisi. Yang pertama itu di tahun 2018 saya mengikuti kompetisi 30 second Kantat Praha, itu di Praha Ceko. Itu di situ dapat prestasinya cukup membanggakan, yaitu 3 gold medal sama 2 special award.
Kalau aku di Theodores Prague di Departemen MCD sudah ikut lomba peradilan semu internasional 2 kali, satunya Asia Cup dan satunya lagi lomba JESAP. Kalau untuk saya juga sudah pernah ikut 2 kali lomba nasional moot court competition. Yang pertama itu Piala TRD 5 di Universitas Udayana dan NMCC Pringgo Dikdo yang ke-7 di Surabaya. Selain lomba juga pernah menjadi panitia Sudarto tahun kemarin.
Organisasi itu sendiri merupakan organisasi yang membangun kemampuan mahasiswa di bidang keilmuan hukum dan juga pengembangan diri, yang banyak acara-acaranya ada acara nasional dan juga acara internasional yang kita member ALSA-LC Undip bisa ikut dan bisa bergabung dan juga bertemu dengan teman-teman kita di perguruan tinggi negeri lainnya.
Law Faculty of Undip has graduated a lot of high-quality students.
Sarjana Hukum Fakultas Hukum Undip dikenal sebagai sosok pekerja keras yang tahan banting, menjunjung tinggi nilai-nilai integritas, dan menghormati keberagaman. Mahasiswa Fakultas Hukum Undip, Indonesia menanti baktimu. Belajar tidak hanya dari ruang kelas, tetapi juga dari masyarakat sekitar, dari teman-teman yang datang dari segala penjuru tanah air.
Saya berharap para alumni ini akan menjadikan nilai-nilai itu sebagai lentera hidup mereka di dalam mereka mengarungi bahtera kehidupan. Lalu kemudian kalau soal melting pot tadi, ketika kita berbaur secara harmoni dengan budaya-budaya yang lain di seluruh Nusantara itu juga akan menjadi semacam referensi untuk mereka bisa memahami bagaimana kehidupan ini sungguh beragam.
Kita mempunyai kekayaan namanya budaya akademis, kultur akademis, bukan pembenaran. Kita tidak mau pembenaran. Pembenaran itu partai politik. Kita bukan politik partai, tapi kita lembaga ilmiah.
Diponegoro University support linear postgraduate degree in law studies such as Master of Legal Studies.
Kurikulum yang ada di MH itu terbagi menjadi 4 konsentrasi sebetulnya. Ada pembaruan hukum pidana, hukum ekonomi dan bisnis, kemudian hukum kenegaraan dan hukum internasional. Di mana masing-masing konsentrasi itu sudah mempunyai dosen yang sesuai kepakarannya.
Makanya kami mengambil inisiatif untuk memberikan pelatihan pada mahasiswa supaya mereka punya bekal bagaimana cara menulis di berbagai jurnal, syukur-syukur bisa tembus di jurnal internasional atau di Scopus.
Undip ini memang dikenal juga punya program-program yang sangat baik dalam menunjang perkuliahan di mahasiswa-mahasiswanya. Seperti kita ketahui ada program namanya workshop penulisan jurnal seperti itu. Ada juga rumah jurnal. Nah, ini rumah jurnal ini yang sangat bagus dalam mengasistensi mahasiswa ketika memiliki kesulitan atau memiliki problem terkait dengan penulisan jurnal.
Furthermore, Master of Notarial Law also a valuable degree to be chosen at Diponegoro University.
Kita dukung penuh untuk ke arah pendidikan yang lebih praktikal dengan adanya laboratorium akta dan laboratorium mengenai operasional kantor notaris PPAT. Dan itu kerjasama dengan alumni yang kebetulan juga merupakan bagian dari pengurus wilayah Ikatan Notaris dan PPAT di wilayah Jawa Tengah. Nah, di laboratorium itu diajarkan mengenai bagaimana operasional kantor notaris PPAT dari awal sampai akhir, termasuk di dalamnya adalah dokumen-dokumen yang harus ada di kantor notaris PPAT itu, dan itu diajarkan oleh 3 orang notaris PPAT yang sudah berpengalaman.
Doctoral programs of legal studies at Diponegoro University is one of the best in Indonesia.
Jadi kita membuka 2 jalur, yang pertama tadi melalui sistem perkuliahan, yang kedua adalah dengan riset, dan bahkan sekarang riset secara murni tanpa ada kuliah.
Fakultas Hukum Undip ini adalah salah satu fakultas hukum yang terkemuka di Indonesia. Kiprahnya di tingkat nasional itu ditandai oleh banyaknya pemikir-pemikir yang berkontribusi di dalam berhukum.
Di sidang ujian ya, doktor itu mahasiswa diuji ya selama kurang lebih 2 jam untuk mempresentasikan isi dari disertasinya dan juga untuk mempertahankan ya dari katakanlah serbuan pertanyaan-pertanyaan dari para penguji.
Fakultas hukum kita ini ya walaupun diganti beberapa generasi, saya kira arahnya sudah jelas bahwa kita ingin menciptakan SDM hukum untuk dapat menegakkan nilai-nilai hukum di dalamnya.
Sinergi antara Universitas dan Fakultas Hukum Universitas Diponegoro sudah berjalan dengan kuat, tetapi dengan kemandirian yang ada, Fakultas Hukum Universitas Diponegoro tidak hanya menapakkan sayapnya di tingkat nasional, tetapi di tingkat global. Apalagi sekarang sudah dibuka adanya International Undergraduate Program yang merupakan langkah-langkah awal dan langkah-langkah yang lebih maju dalam menuju kualitas global dari Fakultas Hukum Universitas Diponegoro.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saat ini Fakultas Hukum semakin luar biasa. Ini terlihat dari prestasi mahasiswa dan sarana prasarana yang ada. Kami senantiasa memberikan pelayanan yang terbaik untuk seluruh mahasiswa, baik S1, S2 maupun S3. Kami juga berusaha memberikan fasilitas kepada seluruh dosen dan tenaga kependidikan untuk mengembangkan kompetensinya. Ini semua dalam rangka untuk mewujudkan Fakultas Hukum mencetak kader bangsa yang semakin berkualitas dan berintegritas menuju world class university. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, everyone, before we continue to again our next session, maybe you guys can turn on your camera. Those who hasn't, maybe we will have a little bit of a chat here. All right, here that's my friend Tisha. Hello, Tisha. How are you?
Hi, Dennis. I'm cool. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Wasn't it great, Tisha? The summer course.
Yes, absolutely. That we hear about the material that already given by Mrs. Salawati, the Professor Dr. Salawati. It's very eye-opening and insightful. I had a lot of new perspective from Professor Dr. Salawati Basir. Thank you, Dr. Salawati. It's very great occasion to see you again in here. And how about you, Dennis?
Yes, absolutely. This is my first time actually joining the summer course from FH Undip, and it is actually quite interesting, obviously. All right, now Isha and I are going to get you guys a little bit of a glimpse of what will you guys be doing during this virtual summer course. All right, maybe we can start with the background.
Okay, the background of the virtual summer course of program Lex Proficia by Law Faculty Universitas Diponegoro. Actually, Lex Proficia engage talent and highly motivate students to explore a broad range of law and legal issues, culture explorations, and developing the soft skills. And the Lex Proficia is an outstanding educational opportunity for students in Faculty of Law to broaden horizons and updating the global current issues. Students are challenged by the creative, innovative, and exciting activities abroad. The program also provides magnificent journey to give you the best experience and gain more knowledge and friendship. The Lex Proficia designs your learning into a comprehensive, creative, and adaptive. Other than that, the monotony learning inside the classroom, the program offers learning by experiencing an interesting learning atmosphere with the more different concept about the law and culture exchange. Based on the reason above, it is a great honor for our faculty to collaborate with your law faculty to understanding and preparing the best youth generations to be aware to the current.
And the overview of what you guys will be doing here are virtual law classes, virtual tourism spots, legal coaching clinic, as well as a cultural exchange activity.
Okay, we move on to the visions of the Lex Proficia in 2021. Okay, the visions for the Lex Proficia in engaging law students to be aware to the global issue and cultural differentiations to become the best generations, especially in legal professions.
And then I would like to also remind you guys the mission of Lex Proficia is to design a learning into a comprehensive, creative, and adaptive to engage talented and highly motivated students and the youth to explore a broad range of law and legal studies and culture exploration. So the program is also provides a magnificent journey to give an unforgettable memories for all.
Okay, we move on to the guideline for the participants. Okay, the first is that please respect with the health protocol during the attends the Lex Proficia. We urges you all to use masker, keep or wash your hand clean, and exercise the social distancing. And then please kindly turn off your electronic device beside the Zoom. Otherwise, switch off your mobile phone into mute or silent mode in order to respect with this event. And then we encourage the participant to turn on the camera and being conducive during the summer course. And we hope you all enjoy the summer course.
Now, during the activity that takes place according to the schedule, participants are also required to turn on the video and application in order the committee can ensure the participants' attendance with participant personal data. And the e-certificate will be awarded to the participants if the participants meets the minimum 75% of attendance for 10 days ongoing activities. And if there are any technical problems when you enter the meeting Zoom, such as no voice, sound, or signal interruption, please check the join audio in the application Zoom or Lead, and then you can join with prior permission to the committee through the chat room. Now, reach the or if guys can reach the representative of the committee to contact them and then to be put back inside the meeting.
Okay, proceed to the schedule or the timeline of the virtual summer course program Lex Proficia 2021, Law Faculty Universitas Diponegoro. Okay, the first day, which is today, we're gonna hold an opening introductory activity and online class about the Asian law and Indonesian law, the sea. And then move to the second day, which is we have the online class about the UNHCR and space law. And then the third day, we will talk about the online class about the philosophy of law and constitutional law. And then in the 4 days, we have online class about intellectual property law and introduction to Indonesian culture. And last but not least, online class about the international business law and Indonesian's business law.
All right, on the next schedule, it will be from 2nd of August. Again, the online classes we will be talking about criminology, tort law, and IP law. And then on 3rd of August, the classes will be about commercial law and Indonesian procedure law. And move on to the 4th August, will be about maritime security, the law of the sea, and the international economic law. And then the 5th of August, there will be online classes about business and contract law and international cyber law. And last but not least, the online classes about public health and food law and plastics. Also, on our closing day, there will be a virtual tour on Semarang City, obviously, where Universitas Diponegoro is located. All right, that was it, I suppose. How was it, Tisha, you think?
Actually, it's interesting. So everyone, it's very interesting. So you need to stay tuned, focus on the mastery, because we have a lot of cool speaker, amazing speakers. So yeah, don't forget to stay tuned, guys. Everyone.
Let's not forget that the issues that will be brought up on these classes are very progressive, and it is intended for people who want to know more and then broaden their knowledge and their horizon and obviously cultures, because obviously here we can see there are a lot of people from a lot of countries, neighboring countries mostly, where we have maybe similar culture or a little bit different, where we can, I hope that everyone here enjoy the classes and then you guys can meet people from around the world so you guys have more connection. Maybe we can talk a little with the participant here. How about that, Disha?
Absolutely cool, everyone. Choose Dennis, you can.
All right. Since there are Meg, you turn on your camera already. Hello, Meg.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Meg?
I'm good. It's actually a little bit later here. I'm in Australia.
Oh, I see.
Sorry?
So, where are you from, Meg?
I'm from Canberra. So I'm in the capital of Australia. So I'm about 3 hours ahead of you, I think. It's actually,
okay, so it's afternoon.
It's like 2 p.m. here.
So tell us what makes you interested in joining a summer course in here in Semarang, Universitas Diponegoro.
Just the topic seemed really interesting, and I wanted to see how it was different in sort of like, because obviously you guys are you have different culture to us and different processes and everything. And I thought it'd be interesting to see how you guys do it there compared to Australia, because we're a little bit different.
Absolutely. Tisha, do you have any question regarding the summer course?
Okay, maybe I just want to know, but how do you know about this program, Mac?
Actually, my uni told us really late. They told us I think Friday last week. They told us about it, and my uni just sent it to me, and I thought it was really interesting, so I joined in.
Oh, so cool. Okay, Dennis.
What's your first impression on, the first day of the opening, I guess, of the summer course?
It's already really interesting. It's a lot better than I expected, I will be honest, because I didn't really know much about you guys or uni or anything about you. But it's actually really interesting and fun.
Thank you very much, Meg. Okay, maybe we can move on to another participant. Ainur Anissa, are you there? Ainur? Or if there's anyone else who wanted to share your impression on how was your first day on the summer course with us, it's totally fine. Anyone else, maybe? Let's see. Nur Anis, are you there? Okay, maybe she has a little bit of trouble with her connection. How about Daphne? Daphne, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Daphne. How are you?
Yes. I'm fine. How about all of you? Nice to meet all of you.
Very good, very good. So where are you from, Daphne?
I'm from Malaysia, Taylor's University.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. So we're neighbors.
Yes.
So again, the same question. How was your first day in this summer course?
I find it the topic interesting. And then regarding Professor Soasti, I think she talked about the program. Was the okay? What was the name? Okay, I forgot about the name. It was the awareness for the program, and for me, I didn't notice about that. So once she talked about the topic, and I was like, "Oh, there's a program for that," and I was impressed about it. Yeah, that's my view.
All right. So you're saying, are you enjoying the program so far?
Yep, definitely.
All right. I suppose. Thank you so much, Daphne.
Thank you.
All right, Tisha. I guess this is it for our agenda for today, for this session, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, our person, I think it's so shy to share the experience for the first agenda for today's event. So actually, we need to move on to the next agenda, Dennis.
Okay. I suppose that lunch breaks coming, and as scheduled, we will be back at 1 p.m., which is exactly an hour from now. For those of you who had different time zones, we will be back an hour from now. So I hope you guys get enough time to fill up and relax yourself. So see you guys very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
you soon, everyone.
See you.
Thank you.
Have a good rest, everyone.
You too.